Doing good is a way we can answer God's call. Jesus did so much good that crowds gathered around him. One of the most inspiring changes we have made in recent years is to not only do good as a collective church, but also to empower everyone to find their own passion and do good by helping our community in our own creative ways. God's call can come in all shapes and sizes. All we have to do is answer it. Here are just a few doing good snippets to remind us that it doesn't have to take much to respond to God's call to love. First off, we wanted to tell you about some families in Contra Costa South who have been busy answering the call to take care of their neighbors in need. Brian and Jessica Park and their house church adopted a family of 7 for Christmas through an organization called Monthly Miracles Homeless Charity. Carlos and Marisa Lorena rallied their house church in Stockton to adopt a single dad and his 6 kids. They served the family and provided them with food and Christmas gifts. Jen Hartman spearheaded having her Bible Talk make Christmas goodie bags with words of affirmation and positive sayings for over 150 patients at Fremont Hospital. And Brock and Ann Roby's house church brought Christmas gifts to all the residents at the Lily House Home for Adults with Special Needs in Livermore. Over in Santa Clara County, 3 families answered God's call to do good by making stockings for Northern California farm workers. The Doomlaus, Sebastians, and Sais got together, and instead of making gingerbread houses, the kids stuffed stockings with toys, candies, and socks for an organization called Christmas con Corino. When the Lowe's House Church in Tracy decided to answer God's call to do good, they ended up bringing their whole community with them. In December, Lacey Lowe happened to see a flyer about a food drive. Lacey and her husband Tony, along with their friends Tony and Diana Fernandez, rallied their Bible Talk and reached out to all their neighbors for donations. They collected food from over 180 families for the food drive. And some of the families who donated food were so thankful to be involved that they also made cards of gratitude. In Riverbank, Mark and Angie Gentry heard from their son's basketball coach that there were families in need at their local high school. The Gentrys and Julio and Loria Villa rallied their neighbors to collect gifts and food for these families, and also got their local Save Mart to donate food cards. The families who received Christmas dinner and food said they felt so blessed and were so grateful that there are good people out there doing good. And finally, we've got a story for you about a pair of moms and daughters in San Francisco who answered God's call by making Christmas stockings for teens in foster care. Kathy Leesom and Joanne Leong, along with their 10-year-old daughters, hoped to fill the stockings with donated items and maybe a small gift card with the little money they had. They bought felt stockings and asked friends and family members to decorate them and add notes so the teens would know someone cared about them. Soon the donations started rolling in, and they ended up collecting over $1,500. They filled 48 stockings with Target gift cards, art supplies, toiletries, gloves, and toys. The social worker at Edgewood Center for Children and Families said she was speechless and couldn't believe they put together all those stockings. These are just a few examples of people who felt compelled by God's call and decided to answer it. What do you think God is calling you to do? What can God do through you if you decide to answer his call?